Most men never understand why the woman who wants them the most is often the one who pushes them away the hardest. It feels like rejection, but it's not. It's a storm of emotions she doesn't know how to control. She pulls back, not because the attraction is weak, but because it's terrifyingly strong. The closer you get, the more her fears scream louder than her desires. And so she builds walls while secretly hoping you'll be strong enough to stand outside them. This is not about games, it's about psychology, wounds, and survival instincts. Every push isn't a sign of lost interest, but a sign of deeper conflict. Because the man she wants most is also the man who could hurt her the most. And until she feels safe, she'll test, retreat, and protect herself from her own heart. Let's break down the hidden reasons why women push away the very man they want the most. 1. Fear of vulnerability. When a woman feels a deep connection with a man, it awakens both her greatest joy and her greatest fear. To want someone that much means opening a door to parts of herself she usually keeps locked away. And vulnerability, though beautiful, is terrifying. Many women push away the man they want most, not because they don't care, but because they care so much it scares them. Vulnerability means letting him see her flaws, her insecurities, her wounds. It means allowing him access to the softer, unguarded side that she hides from the world. For a woman who has spent years protecting herself, maybe from heartbreak, betrayal, or disappointment, this sudden closeness feels like standing on the edge of a cliff without knowing if she'll fall or be caught. The paradox is cruel. The more she feels, the more she fears. The more she trusts him, the more she wonders if that trust will eventually be shattered. And so, instead of leaning in, she pulls back. Instead of letting him hold her, she creates distance. This isn't a lack of love, it's a shield. In her mind, pushing away feels safer than risking the pain of being left exposed. She convinces herself, if I push him away first, he can't hurt me. What many men don't realize is that this behavior isn't a reflection of them, but of her inner battle. She may laugh with him, dream with him, even imagine a future together, but when the intimacy deepens, the fear whispers louder. Vulnerability feels like surrender, and surrender feels dangerous. That's why she'll sometimes sabotage the very connection she craves most. For a man, understanding this dynamic is crucial. If he interprets her retreat as rejection and reacts with anger or neediness, he only confirms her fears. But if he remains calm, patient, and consistent, she slowly learns that being vulnerable with him doesn't mean losing safety, it means gaining it. In truth, the push is never about him not being enough. It's about her struggling with the terror of letting someone all the way in. And ironically, the man she pushes away is often the only one she truly wants to let in. 2. Testing his strength attraction isn't only about looks, charm, or chemistry, it's about stability. Deep down, every woman knows that if she's going to let a man into her heart, she needs to know he can handle her storms. This is why many women unconsciously push away the man they want most, not to lose him, but to test him. It's not a deliberate, manipulative game, it's instinct. She wants to see if his interest is fragile or if it has weight. When a woman feels a strong emotional pull toward a man, she also feels the weight of risk. Can I trust him with my heart? Will he collapse under pressure? Will he run the moment I'm not easy to deal with? These are the silent questions that sit behind her actions. So she pushes back, sometimes through coldness, sometimes through distance, sometimes through unpredictable behavior. She's not trying to hurt him. She's watching what he does when things aren't smooth. Many men fail this test without realizing it. They chase harder, beg for reassurance, or lash out in frustration. To her, that confirms weakness. It tells her he's dependent on her validation instead of grounded in his own strength. But when a man holds his frame, when he stays calm, consistent, and unshaken, he proves something far more attractive than words ever could. He shows her he can withstand emotional turbulence without losing himself. It's almost paradoxical. The very act of pushing him away is often her way of pulling him closer. She doesn't want him to leave, she wants him to stand firm. It's not about ignoring her, but about showing he won't break when she tests his edges. Because life, love, and long-term intimacy are not always smooth. She wants to know, if I give him my all, will he stay steady when I'm not at my best? For a man, understanding this changes everything. Instead of panicking when she retreats, He can see it for what it is, a test of resilience. Instead of chasing frantically, he anchors himself. And ironically, that quiet strength, that refusal to be shaken, is what makes her want him even more. 3. Past pain and trauma. Every woman carries a history, and with that history comes scars. Some are small, some are deep, but all of them shape how she responds to love. When she meets the man she wants the most, those scars don't disappear, they flare up. Past pain has a way of whispering louder than present love. And so, even when her heart wants to move closer, her mind screams, "Be careful, remember what happened last time." If she has been betrayed before, true intimacy feels dangerous. If she has been abandoned, closeness feels temporary. If she has been used, affection feels suspicious. And here lies the tragedy. The man she truly wants becomes the man she pushes away, not because of who he is, but because of who came before him. He is paying the price for wounds he didn't cause. She fears repeating the same story, and so her survival instinct tells her to create distance before history repeats itself. The stronger the attraction, the stronger the fear. Why? Because deep love reopens old wounds. It reminds her of the vulnerability that once led to pain. And her subconscious says, protect yourself. Pushing away, therefore, is not a rejection of him. It's a shield against memories she never wants to relive. The closer he gets, the louder those memories echo. For a man, this is confusing. He may wonder, why does she pull back just when things get good? But the truth is, it's not about him, it's about her unresolved battles. What she needs is not someone who begs for closeness, but someone who respects her pace. Pressuring her only reinforces her fear. Patience, steadiness, and consistency slowly teach her that this love is different, that not every story ends in betrayal. Healing doesn't happen overnight, and no man can erase her past. But what he can do is avoid becoming another scar. By refusing to react with desperation, by showing he is reliable even when she retreats, he creates a new experience that contradicts her old pain. Over time, she learns that her heart can feel safe again. And in that safety, she begins to let down the walls she once believed she needed to survive. 4. Fear of losing herself. For many women, love is both a dream and a danger. The dream is intimacy, passion, and connection. The danger is losing themselves in the process. When a woman meets the man she wants most, she often feels the pull of surrender, an overwhelming desire to give her time, energy, and heart fully. But with that desire comes a silent fear. What if I disappear in him? What if loving him means losing me? This fear doesn't come from weakness. It comes from awareness. Women know how easily love can consume. They've seen friends abandon their goals, their independence, even their identities, once a relationship became the center of their lives. They may have lived it themselves in the past, bending and breaking just to keep a man. So when deep attraction strikes again, she instinctively resists. She pushes away, not because she doesn't want him, but because she's terrified of being swallowed by the intensity of wanting him too much. The irony is striking. The man she pushes away is usually the very one who values her independence, yet she can't risk the chance of repeating old patterns. She worries, if I let him too close, will I still recognize myself in a year? Or will I have compromised so much that I no longer stand on my own? Her retreat is a way of reminding herself that she still has control. Men often misunderstand this. They see her pulling back and assume she's disinterested, when in reality, she's fighting to preserve her balance. A strong man recognizes this fear for what it is. He doesn't suffocate her with neediness or demand constant closeness. Instead, he gives her space, encourages her passions, and reminds her that being with him won't cost her identity. It will strengthen it. For a woman, the moment she realizes she can be with a man without losing herself is the moment she stops pushing him away. True desire thrives not in control, but in freedom. And when she feels she can love him fully while still being fully herself, the walls she built for protection begin to fall. 5. Unworthiness and insecurity. One of the deepest reasons women push away the man they want most has nothing to do with him, and everything to do with how they see themselves. Attraction can be intoxicating, but it also shines a harsh light on insecurities. When she meets a man she truly desires, instead of feeling confident, she may feel unworthy. She questions, Why would he choose me? Am I enough? What if he realizes I'm not as perfect as he thinks? These thoughts don't always surface out loud, but they run silently beneath her behavior. The more valuable he seems, the more she fears losing him. And the cruel trick of insecurity is this: instead of drawing closer, she distances herself to protect against potential rejection. It feels safer to push him away than to risk him discovering her perceived flaws and leaving on his own terms. This is why you'll often see women sabotage relationships with men they deeply admire. She may create arguments, act distant, or convince herself she doesn't deserve him. It's not because she doesn't feel love. It's because her insecurities tell her love this powerful can't possibly last. In her mind, rejection is inevitable, so she tries to control the ending before it controls her. For men, this can be confusing and frustrating. He might think, I've done everything right. Why does she still push me away? The answer lies in her inner dialogue, not his actions. The man she desires most is the one who threatens her sense of security the most, because his opinion matters more than anyone else's. The solution isn't to flood her with constant reassurance. That often backfires, making her doubt him even more. Instead, what truly helps is consistency. When he continues to show up without being shaken by her retreat, he proves through action, not words, that her fears are unfounded. Over time, this steadiness chips away at her feelings of unworthiness. She begins to believe, maybe I really am enough. Maybe I don't need to push him away to protect myself. In truth, the man she pushes away the hardest is often the man she secretly hopes will stay the longest. And when her insecurities finally lose their grip, she realizes he was never asking her to be perfect, just real. 6. Need for emotional space. Sometimes a woman pushes away the man she wants most not because of him, but because of what's happening inside her. Attraction can be overwhelming. The more she feels, the more she thinks. And the more she thinks, the more pressure she feels to make sense of it all. Love, especially when it's strong, doesn't arrive neatly packaged. It collides with stress, old memories, daily struggles, and the constant noise of her mind. When the intensity gets too much, her instinct is to pull back, not to end things, but to breathe. This is where men often misunderstand. They see her need for space as rejection, when in reality, it's self-regulation. Just like a fire needs oxygen, emotions need room. A woman may crave closeness, but if she never gets moments to process her own feelings, she risks burning out. That's why, paradoxically, she may distance herself most from the man she wants most, because it's his presence that stirs the strongest emotions, and those emotions require time to settle. Think of it like waves. Closeness surges, then she retreats. Not because she doesn't want him, but because she needs balance. If a man panics during this retreat, if he floods her with calls, demands, or accusations, he confirms her fear that intimacy will suffocate her. But if he respects her space, trusts the connection, and remains steady, she begins to feel safe returning again and again. Men who master this dynamic become magnetic. They understand that love isn't about constant proximity, it's about rhythm. Space is not distance. Space is not disinterest. Space is the breathing room that allows desire to keep growing. Without it, attraction suffocates. With it, attraction strengthens. When a woman pushes away to create emotional space, what she's really saying is, I need to remember who I am outside of you so that I can come back to you whole. And the man who allows her that freedom without guilt or pressure becomes the one she can't let go of. Because in giving her space, he proves he's secure enough not to fear it, and nothing is more attractive than that. 7. Attraction versus control. Battle attraction is powerful, but power always creates tension. For many women, the man they want most is also the man who makes them feel least in control. His presence stirs emotions she can't neatly organize: desire, excitement, fear, and longing all at once. And for someone who values stability, that loss of control feels dangerous. This is why she may push him away, not to end the connection, but to regain her balance. Think about it. When she likes a man casually, she stays calm. She feels composed, logical, even strategic. But when she meets the man she truly wants, everything changes. Suddenly her heart races, her thoughts spiral, and she feels vulnerable in ways she can't predict. That intensity threatens her sense of control, and so she reacts the only way she knows how, by retreating. Pushing him away becomes her attempt to remind herself that she's still in charge of her emotions, even when he feels overwhelming. This is why the push pull dynamic is so common in deep attraction. The stronger the pull she feels toward him, the stronger the push she creates against him. It's not because she doesn't want him, it's because she does. And her mind struggles to reconcile that level of desire with her need to feel safe and grounded. Men who don't understand this dynamic often misinterpret it. They assume she's losing interest, playing games, or trying to punish them. But in reality, she's wrestling with herself. The man who responds with panic only reinforces her fear. The man who responds with strength, calm, steady, and unshaken, becomes even more magnetic. The truth is, attraction and control are always in conflict. Desire demands surrender. Fear demands control. When a woman pushes away the man she wants most, it's her way of negotiating between the two. She's not trying to end things. She's trying to prove to herself that she can handle the emotions he awakens. Once she sees that loving him doesn't mean losing herself, and that wanting him doesn't mean losing control, the push begins to fade. And the pull? That only grows stronger. When a woman pushes away the man she wants most, it's rarely about lack of attraction. More often, it's about fear, memory, vulnerability, and control. She pushes not because she doesn't care, but because she cares so deeply that it unsettles her. Vulnerability frightens her, past scars haunt her, insecurities whisper she's not enough, and the sheer intensity of her emotions makes her crave space and control. All of these forces combine into one paradox. The closer she feels, the more she retreats. For men, the mistake is to interpret this as rejection and respond with desperation. That only validates her fears. The key is steadiness, holding your frame, respecting her need for space, and proving through calm consistency that closeness with you is safe. A woman doesn't need a man who panics when she withdraws. She needs a man who stands strong when she wavers. In the end, her push isn't a barrier. It's a test of your patience, your resilience, and your ability to handle the storms of real intimacy. And when she sees that you can, she doesn't just stop pushing you away, she begins to pull you closer than anyone else ever could.